YouTube. It's been a while since I've done that.
Good morning.
Is it morning? Oh gosh, it is.
Oh wait, nope. I think it might be lunchtime.
I'm gonna go watch primetime TV right now.
Oh yeah, because it's almost. I just forgot.
It's 8:00. It starts.
Yeah,
at
it's
8
time for supper. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time for supper.
Yes. But please, it's the middle of the night and I need to go pee.
We've got a doozy today, YouTube.
This, Jeff, I ain't gonna lie. This is a top 5 episode of the series for me.
So I get to rank this one.
Loved this episode.
I get to rank this one, and I hated it.
You did
not. I did not.
You did
I did not. No.
I will quit the show. Actually, I will quit you.
Right.
If that's the case.
Yeah,
oh, Jeff.
Tell them what they're watching, because I'm ready to get into this conversation. This episode is something.
You guys out there are watching Jeff and I record an audio podcast called Babylon 5 for the first time, where Jeff and I are watching Babylon 5 for the very first time. We are now watching season 4, episode 19? 18. Intersections in Real Time, or AKA Two Dudes in a Room Talking, literally. You guys are watching the behind the scenes of how we record that show. So you get all the unedited, unfiltered stuff, while the audio folks get the cleaned up chintzy version. This is the real show. This is the fun stuff. Hey, please remember down in your comments below, please stay spoiler free. I know we're getting towards the end of Babylon 5. Jeff and I it has been miraculous with your help out there, staying spoiler free. We've got just a little bit of ways left to go, guys. One more season and a couple of episodes, and we're done. We can talk about all of it. Okay. Just stay with us, keep it spoiler free. Also, while you're here, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff that you guys already know how to do on YouTube. We don't have to remind you. Jeff, hit that magic button. Let's talk about this wonderful, wonderful episode.
You are valued and you are needed.
You will be emperor.
I think you're about to go where everyone has gone before.
The year is 2024.
The name of the podcast, Babylon 5.
For the first time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the first time, not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Akin, and I am the one who was.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I am the one who will be.
We're watching Babylon 5 for the first time for you, the one who is.
That's right. Jeff and I are two veteran Star Trek podcasters, but we have decided to watch this 30-year-old show for the very first time. But rather than just come together and talk about it, we can't do that. No, because we're Star Trek podcasters, we like to overanalyze everything. So we are here overanalyzing Babylon 5 while we're at it.
And while this is not a podcast about Star Trek, those references are sure to make their way into our conversation. I think specifically in this episode, they most certainly will. So to keep us honest, we play the rule of 3. That means each one of us gets up to and no more than 3 references to Star Trek per episode.
That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, or refund.
It's kind of like a game, isn't it, Jeff?
It is a game. We love games here.
We like to smile. It makes us laugh, and we just see if we can do it, because sometimes it gets really hard in an episode to keep to the 3. Well, along with that game, we like other games. We play more than just one game. Sometimes we play 2. Sometimes we play 3. Sometimes we play more. One of the games that we play in every single episode is where we try to predict what next week's episode is going to be about based on title alone. We have not seen it yet. We have not read any show descriptions yet. Hopefully, we haven't even seen a thumbnail yet. We're just using what we know, our powers of observation of how sci-fi is put together. We look at a story title and we say, this is what we think it's going to be about. It is time, Jeff, to get your comeuppance and see how close you were last week to predicting this week's episode, Intersections in Real Time.
So I thought that both Sheridan and Garibaldi were going to get interrogated, right? Garibaldi was going to turn himself in, talk Zach into not just blasting him like Ivanova ordered, and we were going to see kind of the difference between how Earth Force and the Liberation Fleet treated its prisoners. And then I thought we were going to get Linear kind of coming into plan the escape for Sheridan.
Do I even give you a point for the Sheridan part? Because it was the only part that was right.
And I don't think you give me a point for it because, like, there's no way that was going to not happen.
Exactly. Right. And which, I mean, to be fair, Jeff, I'm not sure that I actually get any points for this one either, because while I completely nailed it, there is no way it wasn't going to be this. What I said was,
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, you added a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said this was going to be Babylon 5 Chain of Command Part 2. Sheridan's going to be in a room with an Inquisitor getting tortured, and they're going to mess with his mind. I also said that Garibaldi was going to do some stuff, and Garibaldi was going to try to come rescue him, and it was the redemption of Michael Garibaldi. That part was completely false. Did not happen at all, because Garibaldi didn't even show up in this episode except for in a clip flashback moment. But the rest of it was absolutely right.
I figure if we're grading on a curve, we both got a perfect score.
You know what? I'll take it for this episode.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So this is an episode that a lot happened in, and you've probably pieced together some of the key points. But for those of you who haven't watched this one in a while, or if you never have before at all and are just listening to our conversation, which is cool, Brent, why don't you tell us about the episode Intersections in Real Time?
Well, just in case you forgot, Captain John Sheridan has been captured. He's locked in a dark cell, lying on the floor next to the only drain in the center of the room, which is kind of foreboding all on its own when you think about it. Suddenly, the door opens and in walks Gul Madred. Okay, not really. This dude's just an Earth guy. He's kind of bald, wears glasses, a suit that's a little bit too big, carries a briefcase. Basically, he's a nerd. We'll call him William. Sheridan is restrained in a chair, and he's given a pain giver that was retrieved from the Narns. He's wearing this one around the neck, though. Basically, it's a shock collar, and it's one that will shock the ever-loving snot out of Sheridan if he even gets within 3 steps of William. William explains that he is not Sheridan's enemy, because in order to be an enemy, you have to care. You have to be invested. And he doesn't care. This is just a job. That's all. William proceeds to try all the tricks in the book to break Sheridan. They start by withholding water and food, and then William does the thing where he eats food right in front of him, knowing that he's been starving for the last 3 days. But it's not fancy food. Oh, no. It's a workman's lunch. A nice little sandwich, nasty mustard on a corned beef sandwich. But hey, I guess when you're that hungry, anything will do, right? Then they try to poison him. They tried the whole thing where they play the Barney theme song at high volumes all night, not letting you sleep. They screw with the sense of time of day, even try to get him to say what time of day it is. And rather than, what time of day it actually is, trying to get John in, he knows, like, it can't be this time of day because whatever. Anyway. And then, of course, there's that moment when John is supposed to say, but they have full lights. They even try to bring in an innocent Drazi who has clearly been tortured and beaten into submission. One who is willing to confess to everything, even though Sheridan's never even seen this particular Drazi. Sheridan tells him to resist. All he needs to be able to do is to say no one more time than they say yes. The Drazi is encouraged. He's encouraged enough to stop cooperating, which leads him to being strapped to a table, taken to room 17, and apparently killed. You see, they're trying to get Sheridan to admit that he has actually just been influenced by all those dirty, rotten aliens, especially the Minbari. Sure, he's going to stand trial, and yeah, he's going to have to be held accountable for his actions, both the ones that he actually committed and ones that he didn't at all. But Sheridan was also a war hero. So because he was under the influence, that's going to bring a little bit of leniency on him. And Clark's going to get his public confession and an endorsement that's going to rally the people of Earth against the aliens. And Sheridan's going to get to live a nice little comfortable life until they just come quietly kill him one day. This apparently goes on for days and days. Probably not weeks, though. Visions of Delenn seem to strengthen John's resolve. He grows a pretty patchy beard that actually looks pretty good on him. It works. And in the end, with one final chance to sign the confession papers, John spits on them. William says he really wishes that John wouldn't have done that. And they immediately give him the same treatment as the Drazi. Sheridan is strapped to a table, taken to room 17, which looks remarkably like whatever room he's in now because, set budgets. There's a hooded figure, a man, presumably the executioner, who is waiting. They forcibly put him into another chair, one that actually looked just like the one he was in the other room. And then they take that table he was sitting on and they convert it back into the table that was in the other room that William was using. And a new mysterious man walks in. We'll call him not William, but he is another nerd. And he walks in like this is the first time anything's ever happened with Sheridan. And the entire process starts all over again. And oh yeah, that executioner in the hooded robe lowers his hood. And it's that Minbari from earlier.
Drazi.
And it's that Drazi from earlier. And with that total mind, the episode comes to a close. Jeff, what did you think of Intersections in Real Time?
So later on, you're going to rate this episode on its messages and how Babylon 5 they were delivered. Brent, this episode's about as Babylon 5 as it gets.
Right.
Period. Full stop. Right. This wasn't. I don't think this was as much a ripoff. This was not a ripoff or a riff even on Chain of Command Part 2. Like there's definite. There's parallels you can draw because like it was a
man getting tortured. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This episode has happened in all kinds of series, right? The interrogation, the guy being tortured. The proclivity is to be like, oh, it's Chain of. It's not. This is its own episode.
Yeah.
All those other series though that did this episode, what they didn't do was end the episode with the impression that this is going to be an endless loop of constant interrogation. Like, there's no hope. This episode ended with no hope at all. Stylistically, dude, this was a ballsy episode to make. I mean, 2 dudes in a room. My dinner with Andre with worse lighting. This is my big thing, though. So this wasn't Chain of Command, but it was Comes the Inquisitor.
Part 2.
Yeah. It Comes the Inquisitor without the special effects, without Sheridan making it about the guy. He made it about the issue at hand. A lot of people gave me a really hard time when
I'm sorry, Jeff. But do you know that it did have that Comes the Inquisitor had? Wayne Alexander.
Isn't that powerful?
He was the Drazi.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love just that little tip, right? A little tip of the head. I'm like, like maybe I'm here.
Sorry if I stepped on your toes. I didn't know if you could do that or not, if you were going to get there to it, but I was like, wow.
That's so cool. They had him for that. But no, so people gave me a hard time with Comes the Inquisitor because I was really hard on Delenn.
Yeah, and you were wrong.
No, and in fact, this episode to me proves I was right.
Yeah.
Everybody that gave me a hard time, I want you to watch Comes the Inquisitor and then watch this episode. I want you to see the difference in how Delenn responded to Sebastian and how Sheridan responded to William. It is night and day. Delenn made it about Sebastian. Sheridan made it about the bigger issue at hand. He understood that while William is the worst kind of evil in my mind, he's the kind of evil that just is following along, just doing his job, not asking questions and doing horrible things willingly and kind of having a good time at it. I mean, let's give William some credit. He's good at his job. But like he's a horrible person for just
apparently he's not that good at it.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Well, I have some thoughts there for later on, but Sheridan was so good in this episode, specifically by not making it about William, that when he was talking that Drazi down, I started to think he was going to convert William. That like William was going to start listening and being like, you're right. Sometimes you do have to do that thing. Like I really saw this path where like Sheridan was going to get all these people in this facility to kind of, follow him. Whereas Delenn just turned it into a conflict between her. If she was in this situation, she would have started like insulting William's kids, and I don't understand how your wife can even kiss you or look at you or blah, blah, blah. But this was high television.
Yeah.
Amazing episode, powerful. You're not going to see something like this outside of Babylon 5. I freaking loved this episode. What about you?
Top 5 episode of the season for me. Maybe even top 3. It'd be hard to put those in a bag, shake them up, because I'm sure there's going to be some really good ones. And from what I'm understanding, I mean, Jeff, it's just a guess. We got a couple more really good ones left in this season, and I imagine even in season 5.
Probably.
So it's gonna be a tough one. But so far, I loved this episode. I loved everything about it. I loved the mind bleepery to it. William was just so psychopathic.
Yeah.
And deliberate in everything he did. Every action, whether it was just standing up and walking out of the room, coming in, leaving a door open, shutting a door, leaving it halfway closed, leaving this half of the sandwich on the table, dabbing the corners of his mouth, flicking an IV bag at some point, like everything. The exact words he used when the Drazi came in right before the Drazi goes out. I mean, it was a phenomenally well done episode.
Yeah.
I don't have notes on this episode, Jeff.
Yeah.
There's only one episode we've ever done that I have less notes on than I do on this episode. And that was that King Arthur episode back.
Yes, it's that terrible thing.
But I mean, I mean, we opened Sheridan. I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it's cool, I mean, if you're there, a thing that I do want to talk about is William, specifically Ray Burke, who played William.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the plight of a guest actor, you have to come in to an existing universe with a group of people that work with each other, a culture and everything that exists here. And you have to go in and go toe to toe with people who live in this place. I think that Burke had the advantage in that he really had to play against Boxleitner, and that was it. There wasn't, with everybody. But I think I talked about this even in Comes the Inquisitor with Wayne Alexander as Jack the Ripper. But I walked in, and there was no question that this guy was the real deal. Like you said, everything was deliberate and perfect. His acting was to a T and believable. I just really wanted to give him credit for portraying this character so very well.
What it reminds me of, and here's the thing, I've never heard of Ray Burke before in my life.
Same.
I could probably look on his IMDb. Maybe I've seen a couple of things that he's been in. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't really care. Remember when David Warner came on the show?
Yeah.
And he elevated the entire show,
including the adult rubber prosthetic. Yeah.
But the people around him acted better when they were there.
Yeah.
This was Boxleitner and Burke. Who made whom better? Is this Boxleitner just master acting this and Burke had something to play? Is Burke just that good of an actor himself? Did they both elevate each other? It could have all been true. I think if you ask them like, oh, they worked together, like it was a magic that happened when they came together. Perfectly cast role.
Well, the thing is, like a breakdown, William had 80% of the dialogue in this. Sheridan didn't say a lot.
No, but his face said everything.
Yeah, it was all physically acting, and so when I think about that as an acting challenge, like all he had to react off of and work off of were his physical reactions in a dark, intentionally poorly lit. He probably couldn't even barely see Boxleitner, you know? Oh,
yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So, I mean, my notes kind of just walk through the episode just a smidge. I mentioned in a recap the idea that he's laying on the floor next to the drain, which is in the middle of the floor, is foreboding is all get out. You're in a room with a concrete floor or whatever, and there's a drain right in the middle.
Yeah.
Why is there a drain in the middle of that floor? What have they had to wash out? What did they plan this room for? This is not a shower. What did they plan this room for? Oh, it's exactly what this room is planned for.
Yeah. It's a thing, and this seems it is ridiculous, but it's a question. I actually asked this in an episode of Starfleet Leadership Academy on a Star Trek thing too, where some people were held prisoner, but like he got sick from the corned beef. You know, I'll come in after they cleaned the room up, and then they talked about how he was throwing up all over the place. I imagine he had explosive diarrhea, you know. So at some point they came in, they hosed the room down or whatever.
Changed his clothes for him.
That's what I was going to say. Did they change his clothes? Because they sure looked like the same clothes to me. When
hosed them down and they dried off, I guess.
Maybe when he was left in the chair.
Yeah.
And William started like the thing of, you will sign the confession and everything will, you know, just and played that on loop. And we're supposed to imagine that was probably over a period of a couple hours.
Overnight, I would think.
Yeah, even.
Yeah.
Did he use the bathroom and just sit there? Like where, you know, these are the things I was thinking of. Like he's sitting there in urine soaked pants.
Yep.
Smelling that, feeling that on top of sitting. It's one thing to think, could I sit there and listen to
your
this?
Skin and bad stuff happens, that like infection can set in at that point and things like that. Like, yeah, it's bad. And the answer is yes. That's exactly what they would have done.
Yeah.
You know, he's just sitting there in squishy bottom pants if he had anything left in his body. You know,
and I think that's a piece that we don't think about in these things. And I don't know why, but that was very front of mind for me, that it's like with all this stuff going on, the makeup was so good. His lips cracked and dried.
Oh, shout out to the makeup department on this one, because they did fantastic with Boxleitner on this.
That light in his face, the camera right up on him. And I mean, whoever did that makeup needs to start doing DeLen's makeup. It's so good. Like he looked the part and he looked tired. And we lost sense of time as the viewer. You know, there was no marker of how long this has been.
The only marker that we had was his beard.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe Sheridan has one of those things like his beard got so long and then it just stops.
Or maybe
longer than that.
Or maybe his beard grows like yours and he was in there for like 18 months.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because my beard grows and then it just stops.
Yeah.
Like that's there's a reason Brent does not have a full set of facial hair, because it
like, here's what you get.
Very well.
Yeah. But yeah, just the whole state of mind, and William doing such a good job of reframing reality, you know, for him on, you know, what time is it? What do you eat? Is it morning? Is it night? I control everything.
Oh, I saw the light outside. Oh, it's nighttime. What? No, it's morning. I saw the light outside. Oh, really? Oh, look, it's a light out there. Ha ha ha. Oh, look, it's dinner time. Oh, look, it's lunchtime. I mean, just craziness. I think the things we have to talk about here, though, what they're trying to do with Sheridan. They have gotten into this. They have this story that they have crafted, that Sheridan, a war hero with psychological distress, has gone to the enemy. What do you call that? Like Stockholm syndrome or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they call it Minbari War Syndrome is what they call it.
Minbari War Syndrome. Right. And he's you know, yes, he's a great man. We should love him. We should respect him. We should feel sorry for him. He has been manipulated and allowed himself to be, which is awful, but that's why he's doing all this stuff. And that's the storyline that they are trying to force out of him. Truth or not, to the point that they wrote his confession for him.
Yeah. Whenever
anybody writes your confession for you, that is not a confession.
It's called a red flag. That's a red flag.
And you can always tell. Like I've seen real videos of people who are reading confessions like this right before they, unfortunately, in real life are decapitated. Like bad stuff, you know. Yeah. But you can tell, like, this is not something that they're saying. that they're confessing to, you know?
But we saw this in The Illusion of Truth.
Yep.
When that director in a very similar looking place, who looked very, ragged, read his confession. I mean, so we know this is a thing they do, and they do very well.
Yeah. So there was a super interesting moment. He comes in at the beginning and he says, just so you know, I am not your enemy. In order to be your enemy, you have to be invested in it. You have to care. I don't care. This is my job. This is what I do. I'm not here to help you. I'm not here to harm you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm here to get my job done. Right? Later in the episode, Sheridan spits on the confession. And the man says, William says, I wish you hadn't done that, John. And he even tells us, like, I can't help you anymore. You got to do this. You got to do this. Okay. In order to wish that you hadn't done that now means that you are vested into the process.
Yeah.
Because if you don't care, then you don't care whether he does it or not. You are vested now in the process, which now makes you the enemy. And he turned himself into the enemy because he had an opinion. He cared whether or not John did this. He cared that he had to take him to room 17. He cared. And if that's the measure by which it makes an enemy, which I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that was his measure, then he became the enemy in that moment.
I read that differently, in that him saying that was more of a last ditch effort to like ramp up, because from there he went into the same script he did with the Drazi. Do you understand? This is your last chance. I love
that on a writing standpoint.
Yeah.
He used the exact same words
and tone and everything. Like, it's just because I think about so much of what the way he interacted with Sheridan reminds me of how so many parents interact with their kids. And I think about that when you tell a tool that I use with my daughter quite a bit is like, I'm not going to create false consequences, right? If you do that, I'm going to do this thing, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A thing I say quite a bit is just like, if you do that, that's going to be a big mistake. It's going to be a mistake. Do you want to make that mistake? And in the times where I don't want to follow through on it being a mistake, I'm just like, oh, I really wish you hadn't done that. As I'm thinking now, how do I react? Because I want her at that point to be like, well, I meant it. I'm sorry. And let's, like, I want to, it's like, I kind of want to get that moment of realization for her. But if I'm just going to carry through, if I'm on my parenting game and I say, if you do that, it's going to be a mistake. And then she does it. I just say, okay. And then I do the thing. Boom. It's just another tool. I don't think he was vested at all. I think he was just trying to get his job done, which is getting a signature. I think he was that good. He's so good that he got you. But you're right. If he was invested, he did become the enemy. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to talk more about that when we get to the Star Trek messages part. Jeff,
so I think one thing I noticed.
I have nothing else in this. I mean, this episode was so engaging every single moment, but it'd be like, yep, there's that torture technique. And yep, there's that torture trope. And yep, there's that piece. And wow, that was really cool when they did this. But
yeah, it's acknowledging what happened in there. I have two thoughts outside of that. One is they pulled out the whole, hey, saw your dad. He's just, the other building. He's looking good. And hey, he gets to go home as soon as you play ball and we're good. Cool. That's a good move. What they should have done, or what I would have done, is because I'm evil, is I would have said, hey, he'll get to go home as soon as you do the stuff you do. Also, he'll be able to get his medication once you do what you need to do, because we're not going to give him his medication while you're doing this. Add some tension to the whole thing. But instead it's just like, yeah, your dad gets to go free, but in the meantime, he's good. Like, he's fine. So, but I think the other piece is last week we talked about Ivanova talking about the person is expendable, but the job is not.
Right.
And in this one, we saw Sheridan living that. Go ahead and kill me. Like, fine. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. But I am not going to succumb. I'm not going to compromise my anything here.
And I love how even the prospect of, well, look, if you don't do it, we'll just cheat it, and we have your voice prints on file. We can fake the whole thing. It'd be better if you did it in real life, but we'll make it look like this either way.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting there the whole time. Then you're going to have to do that because I'm not doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just do it.
Like I'm not going to help you with this. It's not, so you do that, that's on you. That's not me.
Yeah.
I didn't cause you to do that.
I'm going to do what I have control of. And what I have control of is telling you no. And I will die knowing that I said no to the very end.
Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed because I was fully expecting the line, "A soldier's first duty is to resist and escape." Like I was kind of expecting that line. You hear that all the time in these situations. But
yeah. Well, he pulled that out in All Alone in the Night with Talon. You know, he's like, my first job is to escape. So he did that. What I think along those lines, what I almost expected at first, I loved the clinical. Do you have any allergies or illnesses I should be aware of? Just so clinical. But what I almost wish Sheridan did.
By the way, if you're going to torture somebody, you need to know that.
Totally. He doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah. Like I need to know, do you have any of these issues? I'd be like, yes, I have. If you make my heart rate go too fast, it explodes.
Right. Yeah. I have an allergy to just discomfort in general. Yeah. Really. Yeah. I have an allergy to not having a toilet with toilet paper.
I have an allergy to this metal you've got around my wrist right now.
I can see the irritation right here.
Yeah.
I actually have an allergy to bad writing, and you are calling this a pain giver. I think it's really painful. But what I almost wanted Sheridan to do, say, do you have any allergies or illnesses I should be aware of? Sheridan, John, Captain, serial number, like, you know, do that whole thing of just start reciting. Yep. That would have been cool, I think.
It would have been a trope.
Totally.
Cool, but a trope. I mean, the whole food thing, like go sit and eat in front. Oh gosh, that's what you do, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But it's never fancy food, right? It's always it's a workman's pale lunch. That's what I'm bringing in, right?
But I think that's one of the things that made this episode so good is it didn't try and reinvent the wheel, right? It's just like, we're doing interrogation. This is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no special bent on it, no drugs, no telepathy, no something, just weird, just one person working to manipulate another person in a filthy way. Oh. And to talk about that in more detail, I think, Brent, we've reached the point of this conversation where I think so.
I don't think we're usually like even to the recap until this point of the episode.
Right?
Jeez.
We're being very efficient. But I mean, people want us to recap the whole plot of everything. You can go watch our reaction videos. They're available on our Patreon. You can watch Brent's on YouTube. Or let's get to the good stuff, Brent, and we're going to look at the messages that come through in this episode. Maybe there's some morals or a mirror held up to society. You are going to rate that on a scale of 0 to 5 Delta Furies as to how powerful the message is and just how Babylon 5 that was delivered. So what do you got?
Well, to go back to what William said when he first came in, I'm not your enemy. I don't care. This is just the job. Let me give you the lesson, and then we can backtrack it because I think it's all just going to work. It's going to flow. You cannot let the job be the thing that you hide behind when you're doing wrong and evil. The guy keeps saying he has no interest. This is just his job. But what he is doing is clearly evil. He acknowledges this is not your real confession. I just need you to sign it. He's not trying to get to truth. He's not trying to get to any of that stuff. He says he doesn't enjoy it. I think we could talk about whether or not he really does. I think, honestly, the end of the episode throws it in. Is he just an actor on some level? Because they know that this is going to take a couple iterations. Did he fail in his job, or was this just the known outcome of how it usually goes? And this was all part of the plan. But regardless, he knows the confession is bogus. He knows what he's doing wrong. He knows that he is a phony. and he knows that he is wrong. Whether or not it is the job, that does not excuse in any way, shape, or form the actions of what you are doing. And he says that throughout, like, I don't care. I don't care. This is not for me. I'm just here doing this thing. But that doesn't make it okay what he's doing. It just, I mean, people say, oh, listen, I'm just here to do my job, man. I'm just here to do my job. You see that in other things. I'm just here trying to do my job. Well, screw your job. You have a bad job. Go get a new job, because this is not a good job for you to have. You cannot hide behind this, because you have to be responsible. You are responsible for your actions. I think there was an episode, was it last week, when Sheridan was talking to Mackie, where he's like, hey, what do you do with illegal orders? It's your job to disobey illegal orders. Earth Force doesn't want automatons. They want people who are going to think. I believe Star Trek said something very, very similar.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, and I suspect the answer is no, that this was an intentional message that JMS was trying to say when he wrote this episode, as much as he was just trying to, here's the next plot, and this is a kick-ass episode. Oh, by the way, we're about to spend a crap ton of money on these other episodes coming up here at the end of the season, and this episode is cheap. This is a bottle episode, literally, well, figuratively in a bottle. Like, this is a room with no lights on the walls. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, two soft boxes and a grip mic. That's what we're working with here.
And a table. Give me a table, which, by the way, was a pretty cool looking table. But that's it. That was the whole episode. All of that to say, Jeff, I still thought that was an incredible mirror to society, because I see that so many people hide behind, it's the job. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is why I'm here. And they don't take responsibility for themselves or for their actions. Juxtapose that with what Sheridan was telling the Drazi. Just resist. You don't have to do this. You just have to be able to say no one more time than they say yes. Words matter. And the Drazi, we know that it was a farce, but let's just put it into the realm of, no, this really happened.
Yeah.
He took courage from that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, even if I die, I can still do the thing that is right. And the thing that is right is not to say this. This is not, he unbroke, unbroke, because words, he wasn't hiding behind anything anymore. He was able to do. So that being said, like I said, I don't think this was an intentional message. But Jeff, part of the message being done in a uniquely Babylon 5 way, part of it is still, how much did you really enjoy the episode? I loved this episode. Everything here was done I don't know that you could have done this episode on another 90s sci-fi show at the time. I don't think Stargate could have done it. I don't think Star Trek could have done it, despite Chain of Command. I don't think they really could have done it, not to this level.
Well, let's look at that really quick, because Chain of Command was incredible. It was inspired, right? Amnesty International was involved. Yep. Patrick Stewart called for a closed set. He filmed it in the nude. Like, it was very intentional in what they were trying to accomplish.
It was a brazen episode.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it was about maybe half of the episode. They had a whole other storyline going on. I think about Deep Space Nine and Waltz, where it was Sisko and Dukat in a cave for about 60% of the episode. They had a whole other story going on the side.
DS9 and Duet.
Same, yeah. No one I can think of would put two people in a dark room with two soft boxes and a grip mic and say, go and create a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah. Touching movie. A phenomenal episode. And by the way, talk about Duet. Talk about Chain of Command. I'm going to leave Walt off if you don't mind, personally. both phenomenal episodes.
Yes.
Phenomenal episodes.
You're right to keep Waltz out. Waltz is an example of two people in a room. It's not an example of a phenomenal episode.
Right. Intriguing concept. I just don't think it was executed very well, or, you know. But Waltz, duet, and I or not Waltz, I'm sorry. Chain of Command Part 2, duet. I'm trying to think of other two people in a room talking type episodes. I know they're out there. You know what show does two people in a room talking? They don't do it for an entire episode, but whenever they get two people in a room talking, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is at its best, not with the big sword fights and all this stuff. It's when you get Tyrion and anyone else in a room to talk, or Jon Snow and anyone else or Ned and anyone else in a room to talk. Like I think of or Ned, they have to be in a room. I think of Sean Bean and shoot, what was her name? She played Cersei.
I don't remember. She left us a review at one point, but I don't remember.
She did. It's not Lita. Maybe it is. Anyway, whatever. Ned and Cersei, they're standing out by a fountain, but they're having a conversation about playing the Game of Thrones. Phenomenal writing. This is when stuff's at its best. It was so good. So all of that to say, I am going to give this one, based on the unintentionality of it, but really done in a Babylon 5 way. It was a good message. Was it the message of the whole episode? No, it wasn't. I'm going to give this one 2 Delta Furies, Jeff.
Okay.
Phenomenal episode. Top 5 episode of the series for me.
I want to stump a little bit.
Do it.
I think that William just being the guy doing the job and actually being super, super evil as a result of just being that guy was wildly intentional. I think that was one of the lessons we were meant to pull from this episode.
Really?
Because I think that Edgar's actually planted this a couple weeks ago when he was talking about, how many members of the Nazi party actually were there, or the Communist Party, or the Jihad Party. It's not the members of the party. It's not the people in control. It's all the people who just follow, either because they're stupid or they're afraid. And I think that was a theme that was introduced, and here we saw in action where he said room 17. So there are at least 17 of these rooms that this is going on in. Who knows if there's more? And this is just a thing they're turning and churning. And all you have is a bunch of people that are just doing their jobs. And they're the ones actually tearing apart the fabric of Earth's society. It's not President Clark that's destroying everything. It's the people that are just doing their jobs. I won't name names, but if we turn the clock back a couple years and we look at the political campaigns that are about to start here in the States, there are people who did and said things, but they're not the ones that ruined stuff. It's the people who just showed up and did their jobs, or decided to kind of take things into their own hands and do pieces. It's the people, to use Edgar's words, that are either stupid or afraid that make these things happen. And that was William. At his core somewhere, he's either dumb or he's afraid, but either way, he's just showing up, hiding behind his job, and literally destroying the fabric of Earth's culture and society as a result. So I think this was super intentional.
I co-sign everything you said except for super intentional.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that intentional. I think this was phenomenal writing. I think this was a great piece of storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't think that this was intended to be hey, this is a microcosm of what's going on in society. Perhaps it was showing us what was going on in their society.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it was like hey, here's a commentary on what's happening right now in 1997 or 96, whenever he wrote this episode. And maybe it was. I could be wrong. I think this had more to do with telling a fantastic story than it did a message. So
it certainly did that.
But it did. But I will. This is a scale of 0 to 5 Delta Furies, Jeff.
Yeah,
I'm going to give this one 2.5. I'll bump it up, and I'll meet it right smack dab in the middle, because I think it's a phenomenal message of just being. I mentioned last week, sometimes the message is not in the stuff. It's just in how things are. So I'm going to give this one, I'll go 2.5 just for being there and being obvious about it.
That works.
Well, Jeff, while I sit here and had to do Delta Furies, it is your turn, my friend, to take this episode, look at all of the episodes we've seen so far in season 4, which there have been 18 episodes so far. And you get to place this one in an absolute 100% completely definitive ranking of the 4th season of Babylon 5. Just as a reminder, the folks playing at home, our current top 5 ranking are Into the Fire, No Surrender, No Retreat, The Long Night, Atonement, and Face of the Enemy. Where do you place this one? Does it crack top 5? And if so, where? And just remember, you're going to push out Face of the Enemy if you do that.
It definitely cracks the top 5.
Yes, it should.
There's no question.
Yes.
It cracks the top 3.
Okay.
My question is just where in the top 3 it is. It is not the number 1 episode of this. Into the Fire, holy crud. That's so good. So very good. Gosh, there's so many good episodes on this list.
I'm going to explain this. I've been thinking about something here lately. I will explain this more next week. My guess is if Into the Fire is going to get deposed in number 1, it's going to be episode 20.
Really?
I will explain why episode 20 next week. So a little teaser. Tune back in next week to make sure you understand why. But I know I've not looked ahead. No, I've not seen it.
Number 20 will be the new number 1. Tune in next week to find out why.
Well, and then tune in the week after that to find out if I'm right.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think that helps because as I think about Into the Fires, I think about No Surrender, No Retreat, and The Long Night specifically.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're just this is just this is really good TV.
Good TV, man. I wouldn't hate. Just be honest. While you think about it, let me talk. I would not even hate it if this was number 4 because those
really?
top 3 episodes are so good. You know what I mean? But I also wouldn't hate it if this was number 2 or number 3. Like I could make a solid argument for any of those. Is it better than Into the Fire? Probably not. Probably not. But this episode is I mean, think about it. Season 1 of DS9, what is the single best episode of the whole season? Probably Duet.
Yeah.
It was not the most flashy of all the episodes.
So I was typing
season 1.
I was typing while you were talking because I made my decision.
Oh, all right. Send it on. Send it to us, Jeff.
Hey, Brent, we just watched the new number 2 episode of season 4.
Good.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. I can't hate it. The only thing I hate is that we lose Face of the Enemy, which we just lost last week. So I'm kind of sitting here looking at Atonement going, was that episode really that good?
It really was.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like we what feels like 3 days ago, but was like 3 months ago. We did actually more than that, but we did the season 3 wrap up, and we talked about how like you've got 21 episodes that you could almost shake in a bag and see how it came up. And then one that should never have been on television and people should be ashamed of. We just watched the 18th episode of the 4th season, and not all of them are going to crack the top 3, but every single one of them is an amazing episode. Even the ones that we were kind of ho-hum on going in were incredibly necessary to make these other ones work. This is such a masterfully crafted season so far.
Yes. And I'll be honest, Jeff, my excitement for these last 4 episodes, I don't think I've ever been more excited for the last 4 episodes out of any season we've seen so far in Deep Space Nine.
It's been a long time. It's been 2 seasons, I think.
No. Did you hear what I just said?
What? No. Oh, you said Deep Space Nine.
I did. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's a cardinal sin, my friend.
Oh my gosh. I know. Here, look. I just, I'm going.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I'm going to finish this one on my own. Get back in here, Brent. We got a big thing we got to do. Because that's it for Intersections in Real Time. Next week, we're going to be watching Between the Darkness and the Light for the first time. We don't look these up. We don't do any sort of research ahead of time. We have this incredibly exciting game where we predict what's going to happen in the next episode based on the title alone, and everything that we know in the episodes leading up to this moment. So based on that, Brent, what do you think Between the Darkness and the Light is going to be about?
Well, this episode was all about John Sheridan. This episode saved him a lot of money. Great. This was all about what's going on with Sheridan. Next week has to get back to everybody else. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't even see Sheridan a whole lot in next week's episode. But next week's episode, it's the rescue attempt. It's on. The rescue. This is what it's about. You ready? It's the retrieval of John Sheridan.
I love that. I think that tomorrow, wow, I'm going to be watching this episode tomorrow. I'll tell you that much. I think next week we're going to see the other side of what was happening while all this was going on.
Yeah.
And so what that means is we're going to see Ivanova off liberating colonies and being very successful. We're going to see Ivanova really being in her element, commanding this fleet and just doing a great job.
I'm sorry, can I clarify?
Yeah.
You think that they're still worried about the individual colonies rather than just coming straight to Mars? Because that's what I said last week was this is going to accelerate everybody getting to Mars. You think it's still Ivanova's like, hey, look, he's expendable. The spot's not, I've got to keep doing this piece and slow rolling it up there?
I do. I think that this episode is going to, because we got the Sheridan stuff.
Yep.
This is going to be the other stuff. And then that's going to bring us to Mars and then Earth. Like boom, boom over the last, like, so we got this, the episode, and then the last two are Mars and Earth. Gosh, we're at the end of the season. It just feels so weird. But I think, so we're going to see Ivanova doing that stuff being great. We're going to see Garibaldi, who will convince people, I don't know who, on Babylon 5 to listen to him. And we'll start to see that redemption. And then we're going to see, I think we're going to see Delenn and Lanier executing the rescue of Sheridan. And we're going to find out right here next week. Thank you all so much for joining us on this incredible discussion of this amazing episode. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Leave us a rating and a review. And please share this show with someone who's either already in love with Babylon 5 or about to fall in love with it, and they don't even know it yet. So Brent, until next time.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up?
I got to tell you, I know I've said this before, but I truly don't know when I have been more excited to get in and talk about this week's episode. Season 4, episode 19. Between the Lightness and the Dark. It's time to talk about this episode, Jeff.
No, it's time
to talk about this episode. Hit the intro music. It is time to talk about this episode.
It's actually time for lunch, Brent.
No.
Yeah, it's lunchtime.
I'm not doing this. No.
It's time.
No.
All right. Let's get him. Let's go to room 17. Let's go. Room 17. Load him up.
No.
You are valued, and you are needed.
You will be Emperor.
I think you're about to go where everyone has gone before.
The year is 2024.
The name of the podcast, Babylon 5.
For the first time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the first time, where today we're going to be talking about episode 18 of the 4th season, Intersections in Real Time. My name is Jeff Akin, and I am the one who was.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.
I totally messed up that ending.
Yeah, we both. And I when I put it together, I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, this is a really long intro.
So there's like, if you look at the bottom of our notes, there's a couple empty slots that just say Brent, Jeff, Brent, Jeff, Brent, Jeff. I had scrolled up and that's all I had. So when I looked up, I was like, we didn't fill this in. It's like, I thought we had something before we went in, but I guess it got erased. We didn't fill this in. Oh crap. I'm going to have to make something up. And I tried doing that. And then, like, as you said that, I scrolled back down. I was like, oh no, here. Oh shoot. That's not at all what I was supposed to say. Sorry.
It's all right.
And then I read what? No, yes, no, I'm not doing. And then I read your line. I was like, no,
it's live, man. We'll go live.
Hey, listen,
no net.
Have you ever done a play where you've completely screwed up your lines?
No, no.
Did you ever do theater?
Yep.
I mean, you've done wrestling and stuff. Surely you went out in something that was not supposed to happen. I mean, a line something you were supposed to do. You specifically were supposed to do that didn't go right.
I don't think I ever messed anything up. I did mess one big thing up once. So one of the big companies I was working for, and it wasn't like a line, but we were gonna have our first pay-per-view, and this was in some of the earlier days of Facebook Live. So we were gonna do a Facebook Live to announce it. So it was me and my broadcast partner Todd Kennelly, and we did the whole thing, and something got messed up in the lighting or the film thing or whatever, and like. So they had the thing filming this for Facebook Live and like, and we're out. And I was like, and I just screamed the F word because it was all messed up and we did it live. And then someone's like, and now we're out. And it's like, So then we had to go on really quick and find out how to delete your Facebook Live because I did that. Tanked the whole announcement and almost ruined the pay-per-view for us. So, yeah. Another story, that company fell apart 4 months after that. So, I mean, I don't think I was.
You're sitting here. I know you're kind of being vague about it and stuff, and I'm not going to ask you on mic like who it was or anything, but I'm sitting here trying to think of like what other companies got to pay-per-view status and stuff. And
well, I'm happy to talk about the company, right? So in the mid 2010s, I was running, doing the color commentary and analysis for Paragon Pro Wrestling. PPW.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, we were a big thing for about 5-6 months. And big thing is a really, really generous term. Basically, we were on Pop TV. We had international distribution. We had a really great production setup. I think we still have some stuff out on YouTube. But we were on Pop TV, and then that deal fell apart. They didn't like working with the people they had to work with. Then we went to Fight TV for a while, which was cool because I got to go to Toronto a couple times and meet with Fight TV and the Fight Network people. Fight Network is what I'm thinking of. But that was a wildly mismanaged company that had all the potential in the world. But the leadership there just was hell-bent on making really bad decisions over and over. But it's cool. I got to operate at like a very high prestige level, do some live stuff, and I've got friendships with people I grew up, that were my heroes that to this day I'm good friends with. So it's a great experience.
Interesting. They do have a fan page out there. So, hey, what do you?
Oh, is that still out there?
Yeah. It says everything's inactive, but yeah, it's still there.
It's been active probably about 10 years. So
can actually land there. So I don't know. So I went to WrestleMania in 20, I guess it would have been 2021. It was the one they did it over 2 nights in Tampa.
Yeah.
And I was able to get ringside seats. Like we were a handful of rows back. Like we're right. We weren't up in the bowl at all. Like we were right there, and that was the first WWE live professional wrestling event I'd ever been to.
Oh, really?
And it was wild to me. Like I'm watching this because I used to watch it religiously as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out of it when I went to college, and I never actually probably before I went to college, maybe when I was in high school. And I've kind of checked in on it every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really into this. Let's go on. Which, cause you gotta be in the story, right? Like that's the whole thing. Right. But it was still neat just watching the production of how, like, knowing what people were probably seeing at home versus what I was seeing here live.
Yeah.
Right. My only other live wrestling event that I've ever been to was a little teeny tiny wrestling promotion in Anderson County, Kentucky. And this was a thing. I remember I was out with some friends, or we weren't out, we were working. We had a late night, we were doing some construction project, remodeling a place, and like we'd been working all day, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and we were just like, we just need a break. And so my friend said, I know what we're gonna do. Everybody get in the car, let's go. So we all just went, and they took us over to this wrestling show that started at like 10:30 at night on a Saturday or something like that. And we went in, and it paid like $5 to get in. And there's the ring in the middle of the room. There was a row of folding chairs on 3 sides of the ring. Just one row. That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't need more than that. And then there was the aisle that it walks back up to. There was the guy over there with the CD player playing intro music, and there was like 2 speakers.
Yep.
And they had piping drape for the curtain, and they were running it through, and this place was full. And by full, I mean like 15 people were there, not including us. And they came in. It was one of the most fun things I've ever been a part of in my life. And I remember sitting here going, it's the first time it ever hit me that wrestling is a show. It's a show. It's a phenomenal show, right in front of you, especially when it's done well, because some of the stuff we were watching was done well. But I remember thinking, like, it's very clear to me that the wrestlers up there know that this is a show. I know that this is a show. I'm not sure that everybody else here realizes this is just a show.
Well, that's part of the job. That's part of what we do when we're in the ring is look for those people who it's still real to them. Damn it. You find those people and you play to them.
Yeah.
And it makes it fun. And I think too, like, and this is the thing that some of the guys at the top levels, AEW, WWE and stuff, it's like their goal. And sometimes they're able to achieve is those people, the yous of the world who are like, yeah, I'm kind of casual, but like, I understand what this is and I'm here to have a good time. The goal there is to get you for 1 second to just be like, oh, was that real? Like, I know this is all staged, but was that? Like, if we can get that from somebody, like that's a huge win, but I mean, the whole point is just, it's literally, I like to describe it as, the universal story of good versus evil told through the ubiquitous language of violence. It's theater in the round, told mostly non-verbally, and it crosses cultural lines, and it brings people together. It gives people hope. One of the things I do, we haven't talked about our spirituality or religion in a long time, but people, if you're new here, I'm a Catholic, a practicing Catholic. And as a Catholic, I have to ask myself a lot of times, like, is what I'm doing like helping make the world a better place? Like, am I doing stuff in alignment with what my faith tells me we're here to do? And I'll never forget, I was at one of those shows, right? The ring in the middle, whenever somebody took a bump and the ring dust came up from the canvas because they never cleaned them, just the row of folding chairs around. And I was ring announcing at this show. And so you're sitting ringside and kind of watching. And there were these 2 girls, I'm going to guess early high schoolish age, who appeared, if you looked at them, you could make the assumption that high school wasn't a great experience for them. They're getting picked on, not a great thing. And so the wrestlers are out there and the good guys got the guy outside the ring and he's, hitting him on the back and beating him. And these 2 girls are up in this guy's face, yelling and screaming as the baby face is just beating him up. And I'm like, what pro wrestling does is it gives those disenfranchised people that don't have a voice, that feel like there's no hope, it gives them that hope. It gives them that moment to let loose, and all that stuff they have to keep bottled up inside when they're at school or whatever, they get to release that into somebody's face who's clearly a bad actor. I mean, both literally and figuratively a bad actor, but like they get to let that loose and they get to see justice happen. The thing that makes pro wrestling work is the good guy always wins. In the end, it might take a year or 2 for it to happen, but the good guy wins. Yeah, there's times I miss it. There's times that I miss doing that stuff, but is a good time.
Well, there you go, Club 65. after that, this is how podcasting works, man. Like you get on, and so we just spent less than an hour talking about an episode. Jeff and I will have spent at least probably 3 hours in the chair just hanging out and talking about the time this thing's all said and done. But with that,
to be fair, we had some business to talk about, right? You know, we have a whole other podcast and set of videos that we do here, and so you know we do have to talk about logistics and things. So it wasn't all
Patreon stuff, and then there's the Discord, and we got
we
plans for future stuff here at for the first time. So
we're working here, Brent. Don't shortchange us. This is work that we're doing.
Yes, we will completely tell our wives that.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of work, we should get back to work, Jeff, and we'll say goodbye to our friends here with Club 65. You guys are awesome. Come back next week for what I'm sure is going to be another great episode. Bye, guys.
See ya.